Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We'll be waiting for our faculty, and once he joins, the meeting will kick off right away.
Yes. Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tekedia Live. We're still waiting for our faculty, Mr. Japheth Jeff. Just hoping that he joins us. Let me see, he's not here. Okay. Jeff. Okay, it's not here yet. Okay, so while we're waiting for him, let me just know if anyone has any question with regards to our section this week. I hope I'm audible. I'm DBC Ekekwe. I'm speaking this morning from UX. Let me know if I'm audible enough. Please, you could just maybe just unmute yourself and say yes, so that we know that we are communicating. Or you could also type on chat that I'm audible. So can you hear me, please? Hello? Hello, Arinzo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I was hoping someone else
Okay, great.
responds.
Yes, so we are still waiting for faculty, Mr. Jeff. I've sent him another note. I don't know what is keeping him there, but hopefully that he makes it. But while we are waiting for him, let me know if anyone has any question generally on our program, not just on this specific wealth management space. So if you have any question, please let us know. Okay. So one of the core elements of what we are hoping to have a conversation today is to examine how we can build wealth. And when we are talking about building wealth here is how do we save and how do we invest and how do we manage the little resources we have. Of course, resources are limited in the midst of many alternatives. So how do we make sure that upon retirement, or if there are dislocations at work, that we are not exceedingly affected. So let me, so he's not yet here, which is not typical. Okay, so from the course, he has provided so many different ways of doing this. But one thing I would like to add is that increasingly so many people are noticing that in places like, especially Nigeria and Kenya, people can actually invest in US stocks through local mobile apps that entrepreneurs are creating. And of course, that could be a very wonderful thing if it happens, if one has resources to do that. You know, when you look at companies like Apple, that has returned about 120,000% since 1997. Look at Netflix that returned about 45,000%, and then even Facebook, since it went to IPO, 600%. So the opportunities are massive, and these opportunities are not evenly distributed around the world. In other words, if you go to stock markets, let's say in Nigeria, Kenya, Gambia, and other domains, you may not necessarily see companies that have the capacity to bring that kind of value creation. So when you now see entrepreneurs removing that friction that makes it very difficult or challenging for people to invest in some of the best possible stock market exchanges in the world, it means that good things are happening. So we have a question here from X-Epo saying, how can we know the equities, shares of companies that are available in the stock market? So typically, if you are paying, I would say, very good attention to a specific company, they usually publish what they call an annual report, or they also do filings. In some very dynamic market like United States, they file every quarter. So that means that you're going to have information about 4 times on that company within a space of 12 months. But in less dynamic market like Nigeria, they do file most likely once every year. In short, in that once every year, there are cases where the companies cannot even meet up. So they will now ask for extension. So when you go and read that document, you will see the stock distribution of that. Typically, if somebody has about more than 5% ownership, they will also list, okay, Mr. A has 5%, Mr. B has 5.5, Mr. So you learn everything about that shareholding structure of that company from that document. And also during the initial public offering, the first time the company is going public, they also make it possible that you can have clarity about the total number of shares they are selling and how much money they're expecting to generate from that. But over time, they keep updating that information because people buy and sell, and then the share structure of the company continues to evolve. So that is how you know. And then if it's a very, very dynamic market, let me say, for instance, in Western Europe and United States, just go into Google Finance. You could learn a lot of things about a company. If you type the ticker symbol of that company, it brings out the information about that. Then for Nigeria, Bloomberg Markets has some of the finest, I would say, information that you can find. So let's say, for instance, you're looking for information on Zenith Bank, you type it on that and on the website, then Bloomberg can bring it out. It tells you the total market capitalization of that. And if you dig a little deeper, you see how many shares that are available, how many that are already held by investors. So that information is readily available if you are paying a lot of attention in some specific companies. Yeah. But interestingly, where we have challenges is that we are not seeing many technology companies in continental Africa being listed in the local exchanges. So in the real sense, companies like, let's say, Flutterwave, companies like Paystack using Nigeria, and companies like Incopa, I think I'm pronouncing it right, in Kenya, and then you move to even Tanzania, you see even most of these entities, especially technology companies, which most of us understand and we talk every day, you don't see them in the stock exchange. For me, that's really a very huge problem that we need to find a way in the continent to make sure that these companies can begin to list. Because if you see them like Renita, the Nigeria Stock Exchange, and you feel that you understand the business, you know what they are doing, yes, you can try to invest in them. But it's not happening. It's partly because if you look at technology listed companies in the Nigeria Stock Exchange, most of them have not necessarily done well. It's not just only in Nigeria, if you also go in Kenya, they have severely underperformed. Like eTransat has not done really remarkable well. Computer Warehouse Group, I think, is basically in a very bad status now. So these, even Champs PLC, these are tech companies, but they have not. But I would say that these are largely first generation technology companies, excluding that e-transact. So they don't really represent the innovation element of these new modern tech companies. So these new modern tech companies, they actually have a better business model, they have a better scaling capability, and they also have something better than what we have always been associated with technology companies. So, but we need to have them listed locally. I would want to see InterSwitch listed in Nigeria Stock Exchange, but we know it's not going to happen. Most likely, they're going to list in London or somewhere else, maybe Johannesburg or maybe even United States. And it has to do with the total liquidity in the market. If they feel that the amount of money available in the market to buy stock, and investors are not putting a lot of resources in that space, there is just not going to be any reason for somebody to come in and to say, I want to list my shares here when people don't even have money to buy that, or investors themselves don't understand what is happening on. So that remains a challenge. But people can understand Dangote Cement. People can understand what is going on in Nodus. People can easily understand what is going on in Pure Water. And when you now throw them fintech, they get confused. And because of that, they don't appreciate what the companies are doing, and that affects the valuation. And when that affects the valuation, it means that the investors are not going to pay a fairly decent amount of money for those equities. I don't know if that answers your question, Ebo, and if not, let me know. So I'm still waiting for our faculty and not gotten any note from him, which is not typical. So very fortunate for that. Yeah. We can't hear you. Is somebody speaking? Okay. Oh, it's like it's a background noise. Okay. Oh, Mr. Jeff is here. Okay. Yes, we are finally here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you have a background noise there. Okay.
I have a background noise. Okay. Right over.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it better now?
Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you go ahead, and as today is a work day, what we usually do, 10 minutes of big talk overview, then there will be question and answer. So you could just give us.
Answer. Fantastic.
Oh,
Fantastic.
still, yeah, I think your network is not stable. Yeah. Can we hear him very well, members? Just confirming. Can you hear our faculty very well? Because.
Sorry. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I think.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, the network is still a little shaky.
It's better now.
Your network is very bad, sir.
Yeah, the network is looking shaky. Is it better now? I think it will get better as we proceed.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see.
You can go ahead, sir. We're hearing you, sir.
All right. Yeah, hi, everyone.
Hi, hello, sir.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Let me hear you. Hi.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Yeah, I can hear you. Good morning. Any other person? Good morning.
We can hear you, but
yeah, good morning. Yeah, the network is shaky. I hope we get it right. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Yeah, Chioma, good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah. Is there a way you could, is it go close to a window or so? I don't know. It's not really, it is just this noise at the background. I hope it's not only me.
Yeah. Yeah, hello.
I think it's better there now. Okay, so you can go ahead.
It's better now, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Japheth. Jeff is my name. Yeah, ACA, SIMA UK, CGM, a chartered global management accountant. So I'm a chartered accountant across 3 countries. Chartered in the UK with CIMA, and then chartered in the US with the CPA, and then in Nigeria with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. I'm a finance professional, and it's been my pleasure sharing with you in this program, the Tekedia Institute Mini MBA. So basically, I want to have 10 minutes to myself. I have 10 minutes to myself.
Yeah. So
right?
sorry.
And I'm going to.
So faculty, is there any way you could? I don't know why your network, your voice is coming out exceedingly very, very poor. You just cranking. I don't know.
My voice quality is poor.
Yeah. Your
wow. Wow. I'm trying to get.
Are you inside a building?
Let me take off my earpiece, right? I see.
Okay, take your earpiece. Just speak to your speak to your mic.
My earpiece now.
Yeah, speak to your laptop. Remove the earpiece. Thank you.
So I can speak to the speaker directly.
Yes. There's no need for earpiece.
Okay.
Thank you.
How is it now? Is it better now?
I think it's fairly better. Okay, go ahead.
Taking off my earpiece. Okay, so I have 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes to myself just to run you through the summary of what you have learned in the program. And the summary of what you have learned in the program is basically the word cycle. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that you are now aware of the word cycle. Isn't it? Yes, I believe we are aware of the word cycle. Okay.
Yeah.
So the word.
Hi, Jeff. I don't know whether is it that you can dial in back or restart the network. Your voice is really very, very bad.
Okay, let me connect and dial back. That would be better.
Okay,
I will disconnect and then I will dial back.
Okay, please, or maybe with another solution provider. Sorry about that. Okay, disconnect and come back. Sorry. Apologies. Yeah, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, this is just one of those challenges we have with our community across Africa. Little things that are settled, but we continue to struggle with network connectivity. So please, hopefully that when our faculty comes back, the network will be a little bit better so that we can get on with our conversation. So sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. So as I was saying here, the whole purpose of wealth management is largely at the individual level. Of course, there are people that's what they do for a living. They help people to manage their resources. And it's also something that has not necessarily been very common in most parts of Africa. You know, see men and women, they were very, 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 very affluent, rich, but you just leave them 5, 7, 8 years after retirement or after they have left the job. You see that most of them just turn out to be exceedingly in a very terrible shape because they have not planned their retirement. They have not planned their, yes. Okay, so faculty, let's see how far now. If you can speak now. I think you're back.
Yes.
Okay, continue. Let's see. I think.
Okay, I am back.
Okay, it's better now.
How did I sound now?
Absolutely. You now sound like the man we know. Go ahead.
All right. Sorry, guys. Don't mind our network here, No problem. We'll get over it. Maybe by the time we adopt 5G will be better. Okay. All right. So, I'm running you through the summary of what you have done. Okay, it is a course on personal finance and wealth management, and the essence of the course is to teach you your personal finance. Okay, the university you have attended, the educational system you have attended, the PhD program you have taken, they have never taught you this. They have all taught you business finance, how to take care of the company's finances, your organizational finances. Then what about your own personal finances? What about your own family finances? Nobody teaches you about that. And that is the gap, that's the vacuum that this course has been designed to fill, right? So congratulations, because you are no longer a financial illiterate, okay? If you have gone through the course, you will notice that some survey were carried out by Standard & Poor's Global Banking Survey, and the survey results showed that 67% of the adults you see in the world today are financial illiterates. Okay, they've got PhD, they have attended Harvard, they have attended Johns Hopkins, they have attended London business schools, they've attended the best of business schools in the world, but financially, they fall within the category of those described as being financially illiterate. Okay, so by virtue of this course, personal finance and wealth management, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, you have officially come out of that bracket, okay, in which 70 or 67% of adults, be they Americans, Indians, Asians, Africans, regardless of their country, they have been described as being financially illiterate. So you are now a financial literate person, okay, by virtue of this course. Okay, so it is left for you to take steps to own and take the responsibility of implementing the principles, the core basic principles of personal finance you have learned. Okay, so these principles, what I did was to come up with my own invention as an expert, okay, a subject matter expert on personal finance and wealth management. I came up with what is called the wealth cycle, right? So I believe everybody is aware of what the wealth cycle is. So the wealth cycle starts with your wealth is inside that cycle, right? And then on your right, the right hand, you have your savings, right? From your savings, then you have the investment. We're moving clockwise, right? Starting from 9 o'clock, right? Sorry, 3 o'clock. Starting from 3 o'clock, clockwise. So you have your savings, you move your savings into 6 o'clock, right? Clockwise, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock we have investing, and then you move from investing, right, into asset. Asset is on 9 o'clock by your directly left hand, 9 o'clock, all right? And then from your asset will not generate. You invest in asset. Your asset will generate income, will produce income, and then to your 12 o'clock, you have income, and the cycle continues. So that's the wealth cycle, right? So you must make sure that you keep your wealth within the wealth cycle. Anytime you are operating outside of the wealth cycle, then you are definitely going to be poor. Okay, so if you have not gained anything at all in this program, please get this, that you have to live within the wealth cycle. You must not find yourself outside the wealth cycle. So any action, any activity, any spending, any financial behavior that is going to kick you out of the wealth cycle, you have to fight against that and make sure that you keep yourself, you keep your family, and then you keep your life, and you keep your career within the wealth cycle. Okay, so that's the summary of this program. You can see that we start with income, savings, right, investing, and then asset. You invest in asset, and the asset must be income generating asset, and you're back to income. So if you keep on consistently working with this mentality and you're operating within the wealth cycle, there is basically nothing in this world that will stop you from building wealth, building wealth and transferring wealth to your next generation. Okay, so just like Prof was saying, I have come across so many people who were working, they were professionals, they worked and they made a lot of money, but those people today, they are begging for 5,000 naira. Okay, they are depending on pension contribution, right? That they are the mandatory pension contribution. That's the only pension income. So we have dealt exhaustively with planning for your retirement, your pension. So your pension is in your hands. You have to plan for your retirement. Pension is just one of the retirement income. You have to create multiple retirement income streams, okay, from real estate, from your family business. So those from your investment, from investment in stocks, investment in bonds. That's why we have also dealt exhaustively with investment. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to congratulate you for becoming financially literate by the virtue of going through my class and going through the personal finance and wealth management course. Thank you. Let me hand over the button to you and begin to take your questions.
Okay. Okay, Arins, are you there? And
yes, okay. So we'll begin taking questions right away. So if you do have questions, kindly use the raise hand feature or send the questions to the chat.
Yeah, I think I have the first one here from the other platform, the faculty. Somebody asking here why do we need to bother looking at savings and also contributing into pension fund when our inflation is running at double digits in places like Nigeria? Am I audible?
Okay, very beautiful question. Very beautiful question. Okay, I'm going ahead with that. I want to address it, right?
Yes,
okay,
please. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, you have identified one of the biggest economic problems that is against you, okay, which is inflation. Okay, inflation is against you, but that does not mean you should abandon your arsenal, right? When you want to fight the enemy, you need to gather your arsenal. You need to gather your weapons. Okay, so your savings is your weapon. Okay, right now there are solutions to inflation, right? There are solutions to inflation. Okay, I think if you follow me on my LinkedIn, please, if you're not following me on LinkedIn, if you're not my connection on LinkedIn, try to get me on LinkedIn. Japheth, Jeff, that's my name on LinkedIn, Japheth, Jeff. You have my details, you know the spelling of Japheth, Japheth. Jeff, J-E-V, not J-E-F, J-E-V. So get me on LinkedIn. I have done an article, an excellent article, all right, on how to defend your income against inflation. I've worked on that. It's a very beautiful piece. So when you get there, there are ways you can be able to beat inflation, all right? There are still some ways that you can be able to beat inflation. Depends on your financial literacy. So I have done that article, and I encourage you to go on LinkedIn and read that article. It's very important. There are some assets that are still performing above inflation rate. So you need to key into some of these assets. Okay, but if you don't know, if you're a financial illiterate person, you will not know. You will just surrender to the ravages of inflation. Okay, so my advice is don't surrender to the ravages of inflation. Stand up, stand firm, pursue knowledge, connect with people who are knowledgeable in finance and investment. They are enjoying. There are a lot of people that are currently enjoying a return that is above inflation rates. And I can tell you that there are some couple of investment opportunities that are performing above inflation rate, okay? However, you should be prepared to take risk, okay? Because if your risk appetite is very low, you will not be able to fight against inflation effectively. Your risk appetite needs to be high, all right? You need to up, not too high, but just increase your risk appetite, because those investment opportunities involve risk, okay? Investment opportunities like stocks, okay? Stocks are still performing above the inflation rate in Nigeria, okay? And then if you are following me, I will also connect you. You can start putting your weight in global stock, in New York Stock Exchange, right? I got an article on that too on my LinkedIn. You can read up that how to invest in New York Stock Exchange, invest in Apple, invest in Google, invest in Facebook, invest, mentioned in the US, the biggest global brands that you see around the world when you travel anywhere in the world. You can become a shareholder in those brands, okay? And begin to experience some returns that are above the Nigeria inflation rate. Okay, so savings is important because if I introduce you to those opportunities, the only thing you need to do is your savings. If you do not have savings, you can't cut your hands and seize those opportunities, invest in those opportunities. It is your savings that will be used to jumpstart you. So savings is important regardless of the inflation rate. Thank you. Is that clear?
So I just have a follow-up question there. Faculty, are you saying that locally in Africa, I guess not just only in Nigeria, but also other stock markets like in Ghana, I would say also in Kenya, excluding South Africa, allegedly in South Africa, that we don't have any specific products that you can mention here? Remember that this is an academic cycle. We are not saying that any advice here is any
okay,
risk.
within Sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah. So how can we beat inflation practically?
Sorry, take that again. I didn't get that. Your voice.
I said, is there any practical insight, example you can give our students on how they don't have access to invest in UX, they don't have access to invest in London because what they earn is not necessarily much, and they are so afraid of investing in the stock market because, as you agree with me, if you bought stock in the Nigeria Stock Exchange in 2007, more than nearly 12, 13 years, you are still underwater because I don't even know whether in a generation, whether the stock will get to the level where they were in 2007, right? So, okay. Because I remember that First Bank was nearly 56 Naira in 2007 or 8, but today it's still not up to where a fraction of what it was. So is it really gonna get there? So what are the other alternatives to beat inflation, practically, if it's possible?
Okay, alternative investment to inflation.
We lost you again.
As the name says, investments are non-traditional, your commodities, okay? Are you aware that food inflation, right? There is agricultural produce inflation. So that means that if you are exposed to commodities, I'm coming back locally now, your income is not enough, but you can afford a bag of soybeans, isn't it? You can afford a bag of soybeans during harvesting season and keep it and store it. You can afford a bag of groundnut during harvesting season and store it. Find a place and store it. You can afford a bag of cocoa, right? In the Southwest, if you're in the Southwest, you can. So even, across geographical locations in Nigeria, there are some commercial agricultural produce, okay, commodities. They are doing excellently well. Many of them are producing returns about 20%. Okay? Is that clear?
Okay. That's okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Agricultural commodities. Then in addition, real estate is also an anti-inflationary investment strategy. Real estate, invest in real estate if you have the capital. The only thing is that real estate is not that liquid, and then it involves a large amount of money. Okay. However, real estate is very, very pretty. They are doing above inflation rate. Return on real estate assets are above inflation rate. The reason is because your rental income increases as inflation, rages up. Rental income, rent on properties is often increased by across most geographical locations in Nigeria. Okay, so even where you are living in Lagos, your landlord, I want to believe, has given you notice of increment in rent. Okay, so assuming you are that landlord, your return will definitely be above inflation. So these are the two locally investment assets that you can put your money in to beat the inflation rate, the raging inflation. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Arinze, go ahead and thank you. Okay. Yeah, Emmanuel, go ahead. Emmanuel Kintide, go ahead.
Thank you, Prof. And thank you, Mr. Japheth, for your time. Hello to the Kulena. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
faculty...
Emmanuel, I think you are calling from, is it Cameroon, right? Is it Cameroon?
Yes,
sorry.
Yes. I am presently in Cameroon.
I think his network is far better than what we have in Lagos. I'm just trying to key there. Jeff, do you see that?
Wow.
Go ahead. I'm just messing up, man. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Okay, so that's as the faculty mentioned on the real estate now at home there in Nigeria and some other Africa in the West there, it brings me in a thought which I've been battling with for a year. I think the real estate as Nigerian case concern has been a kind of a manipulative stuff, because over the last 2-3 years, I've been following up with it, and I see in a major city like Lagos, there is no part of that Lagos you can go without seeing to lend or for sale of a property and this. And that brings me to be asking myself why we have such when there are lots, thousands, millions of people who are homeless. And the reality is overpriced. And now when you go back to the investment, which is the purpose of this session, I mean, I invested, let's say a house cost me, let's say 60 million. And I have to get in maximum of, let's say 303 million per month. So it's probably going to take me over around 20 years for me to get the value of the money of the house. Yeah, I may be investment not expert, but the question here is this: they always say the value, the property increase in value every year, average of 10 to 15%. Yet, if I tie down such a money and it takes me 20 years or more, the money to return, how is that one better than going into the business or having a chance of US stock or your UK stock, Nigerian stock is out of it, or even South Africa.
I'm in a meeting. Just hold on. I'm in a meeting. I'll call you later.
I just want the input of the faculty on this.
I'm in a meeting.
Okay, go continue speaking, Emmanuel. Sorry, I think that's okay.
Oh. Okay. So in this regard, I believe as real estate in Nigerian concern, it is not really good enough if you have gotten other options, even though it is a little bit more risky than you seeing the physical property. You can touch the building, you can see the land, but the numbers of years that is going to take you to bring back your investment is not justifiable compared to other opportunities. And then, as also the faculty mentioned about the agricultural products, I agree with that in some extent, and also because I actually involved in what we call palm oil. Palm oil is in excess of production between the February and April. The moment the April is gone until December or January of the following year, the price is almost 75 to 100% increment. So for those ones that have the opportunity or have a contact in the villages where those palm oil is being refined, you can buy several hundreds of liters and then keep it safely, and it doesn't require any preservation. It can stay as long as years. Okay, and in that case, instead of keeping your money in the bank and the bank, what bank is giving to you is lesser than the inflation or whatever it is. So in that case, commodity is an option as well. But I want the faculty to make an input on this first question. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, hello. Emmanuel.
Yes, Mr. Japheth.
Okay, Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Very well.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, we
Okay,
can
very
hear
well.
you.
All right. All right. Okay, and so Emmanuel, real estate, as you have mentioned, has a double uh, dual returns. Dual returns because you are earning both the cash returns, which is represented by your renter, the renter income, and you are also earning the capital appreciation, capital gain, the value appreciation, the increase in the value of the property itself. So real estate on that note is considered to, when you combine these returns, you will find out that you are doing better than somebody who have invested in other assets, in other classes of assets that are doing below the inflation rate. And in most cases, if you do your maths and compute the returns on that property in that location, you find out that that property will be yielding a return that is higher than the inflation rate. Okay. Having said that, real estate too has its own risk. Okay, because real estate is also within the economy and it's also subject to the sovereign risk, okay, of that country's economy. Okay, for example, if you have your properties here in Nigeria, your properties are subject to the macroeconomic variables that are prevalent in Nigeria economy. Just that, for the fact that real estate has certain fundamentals such that shelter is very, very necessary for every human being. In fact, even if a human being cannot afford any other thing, shelter and food are the basic needs of his or hers that he or she will struggle and strive to consume, to maintain, and still consume. So on that note, we tend to struggle and outperform inflation in most cases. The resilience of real estate as investable asset is what is the allure that attracts investors. Okay, investors are attracted to it because they know that these assets have the long-term value appreciation. So even if there are some temporary challenges that these assets will not be able to perform due to macroeconomic sovereign risk reasons, when you hold on to your real estate assets, the probability that you will come out again in profit is almost is at 80%. 80%, except Nigeria burned down. Nigeria doesn't burn down. Just hold on to your position. Hold on to it, be patient, and then if they face the current economic challenges of that country is transient. Okay, this was in the bad shape in 2008, where we have the Greece debt crisis. Okay, Asian countries were also in bad shape in 1980, 90s. 1996, 1998, we had the currency crisis in Asia, in Singapore, Hong Kong. They experienced one of the worst currency crises. But today, these are becoming effective economies. They have transited from those challenges, and the economies are doing better. So people that bought real estate during those challenging periods in those countries where other investors that were not real investors, where no enterprising investors were selling off. They were discouraged selling off. They thought that the Singaporean economy and the Asian Tigers economy has come to an end. But enterprising investors took advantage and were buying real estate in that crisis. Today, rental income is one of the highest incomes in the whole of in Hong Kong. Rent in Hong Kong is one of the most expensive rental income and globally. So if you have bought real estate in Hong Kong during the crisis, the Asian currency crisis that badly affected Hong Kong, today you will be one of the richest persons in Hong Kong. Okay? So Emmanuel, is that clear? Is that, I don't know whether my explanation has helped you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It is clear. We have sufficient other person.
All right.
Okay, so Friday, go ahead.
Okay, so mine is more like a comment rather than a question. I have found out that I've attended a few wealth creation or management workshops, and what I've found out is both for the faculties and the participants, there is always some kind level of disagreement around key aspects of the sector that could create wealth for one.
Go on.
Wow, what is going on in Nigeria today with network? Hey, Friday, what is going on?
I don't know. Yeah, we lost.
Yeah, it's like, this is really,
I don't know.
So people speak 13 years down, okay. 13 years down the line, that 5 million today is worth about 54 billion in assets. 54 billion. So if I come to a forum like this, okay, I would not agree that property would have done the same thing. I couldn't have bought a property for 5 million 13 years ago and expect to be 54 billion naira. I'm not the owner of the organization anyway, but I manage the startup. So basically what I'm trying to say in effect is that the most important take home for us, for me, is that we need to invest. We need to create wealth. Choose a place where you have more knowledge and invest. Take action.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway.
Absolutely. I love that. That's fantastic. You need to take action. Do you understand? Because it's not all about knowledge. And remember, financial literacy in the course, I define financial literacy as not just the knowledge. It is the application of the knowledge. Okay? That's what qualifies you to be called a financially literate or financially savvy individual, is the application of the knowledge. So thank you for that. Next question, please.
okay, yeah. So, yeah, I think somebody has a question. He's asked, maybe Arinze, you should check it on the chat.
Okay, sir.
On investment in Forex. So please, what are your thoughts on investment in Forex, particularly in this time? And but just as you are going to ask that question, actually, faculty, there is something I do. I mean, it's not really an investment, but I just have, if I have some, I would say free naira, I will convert it into dollars and just leave it in USD. And I actually consider that to be an investment.
Yeah,
so it doesn't really have to be anything magical, because personally, after what happened in the stock market, I don't have so much confidence in the Nigerian Stock Exchange at the moment because of one thing. If the Security and Exchange Commission tells an MD that he is wrong, the MD goes to the court to get an injunction. So when that happens, I just believe that the rascality we see in the political system has entered our capital markets, because the regulator does not have influence to manage the main. And if the regulator does not have the influence to manage the main, I don't believe that anyone can protect my investment. So I just have, if I have Naira, move it to a DOM account, leave it there. But there is something bad about it. You are just thinking that the Naira will keep falling to the dollar. But that has actually returned very, very good. Created a lot of value if I convert that dollar now to Naira. So besides the typical forex, I also, if I don't know whether it makes sense, just for you to comment on that general idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. That's an interesting dimension. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. We can hear you.
All right. So it's an interesting dimension. Okay, and that has reminded me about the song that I have been singing throughout the training. Okay, throughout the course on personal finance and wealth management, I have been singing a song that investment means building a portfolio. How are we together? Yes, investment means building a portfolio. It means not putting all your eggs in one basket. Okay. So I want to answer this question on the back of this principle, the principle of portfolio management. That's the most important principle that makes the difference in the world of economics, right? In the world of investing. Because if there were no portfolio management principle, I don't think any bank would have been in existence today. I do not think any wealth could have been in existence today. In fact, wealth would have been destroyed forever. But with the principle of portfolio management, which says you should not put all your eggs in one basket. Okay, so if you have money in the Naira, your local currency, whether your local currency is Ghanaian cedis, Nigerian Naira, South African rands, all right? And then you convert the money into a domiciliary account in anticipation that your local currency will depreciate while the USD will appreciate, and then you make a game. Good one, that's a smart one. But what you are doing there is simply really not investment, it's risk hedging. You're only hedging risk. Okay, so in the process of hedging that currency risk, it's a currency risk you're hedging. You're trying to protect yourself against the fall in the value of your local country currency vis-a-vis the dollar, the global currency, the greenback, the US dollars. Okay, so it's really not an investment, but it's a risk management system. You're only trying to manage currency risk. So that's my response to that. And in as much as you want to manage currency risk, there could be also possibility that the local currency may appreciate, okay, and the dollar might depreciate. So there is also a probability of loss, okay, looking into your face there. So you have to, all I have to say is that always try to build a portfolio, always, okay. You can keep maybe your liquidity when you're building your portfolio. You have, let's say you have a 50,000 USD, okay, and you decided to put 30,000 USD in real estate. You decided to put 10,000 USD in equities at the stock market, and then you decide to put 10,000 USD in liquidity, that's in cash or cash equivalent investment. Okay, in that kind of situation, that 10,000, yes, you can do that. You can dump it into your domiciliary account. You can just buy dollars and dump it in your domiciliary account. Okay, so that's a very good strategy, and for that, it's called an investment. It becomes an investment. Okay, but if you didn't build a portfolio and you just speculate, you are just a speculator. Yeah, that's the right word for you. You pack the entire 50,000 USD and you now use it to buy dollars and dump it in a domiciliary account. You are a speculator. It's actually speculating. okay? And it's a big gamble because your local currency could appreciate. Yeah, it's possible. And you will be in red. By the time you convert it back, you rush back to convert it back to Naira or Ghana cedis, you find out that it will be less than the equivalence, okay, that you had in your hands from the inception of the investment program. So it's very, very important to bear in mind that I must always build a portfolio. So each time you want to invest, think about portfolio management, think about risk diversification, and divide that budget, that investment budget you have divided, and begin to discuss with your wealth partners, discuss with people. That's why you are in this class. You can discuss with me. You can chat me or hi, Mr. Japheth, I got this. I want to do some investment. What are the likely assets? Where are the opportunities? And then we throw them up. We can give you a hint. Okay. However, beware that investing is risky, and you might lose your money, especially if you want higher returns. That's very important, and that is why you must build a portfolio. Because when you build a portfolio, if you are losing in one of these assets you invested, you'll be gaining in the other asset. So at the end of the day, the total returns will be positive. It won't be negative. Okay? Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay, thank you for that. There is also a question on forex. I think you might use that one. He's asking, what do you suggest on forex at this time?
Yeah, I'll read the question out. Say, please, what are your thoughts on investment in forex, particularly in this time?
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Yes.
Hello, guys. Yeah, should I go on with the forex question?
Yes,
that question. All right. So forex. Yes, forex is a good investment. Trading of currencies. Yeah, it's one of the assets, right, that you could use to build a portfolio. It's one of the asset classes. Currencies are asset classes, actually, when you put them in a portfolio. But my concern with forex trading in this part of the world is that your internet connectivity, the IT infrastructure here is very weak. It's not strong. Okay. Right now, I am trading cryptocurrencies. Right. I'm trading cryptocurrencies, and let me tell you what I'm facing because of the IT infrastructure in Nigeria, where I live, in Lagos, Nigeria, where I'm living. Okay. And let's say there's an opportunity. I saw an opportunity. Let's say Bitcoin. Okay. I open up in Bitcoin. I'm trading Bitcoin, and I discovered that there's an opportunity. Bitcoin price fell. It fell. There was a day last week. Yeah, Ethereum, not Bitcoin. I opened a position in Ethereum. So Ethereum price fell. So when Ethereum price fell to I think $166. Yes, $166. From to $366. That's from $381 to $366. And there was a support just below the $366. So I expected the support, I expected the price to bounce back, to hit the support and bounce back to where it fell from. Okay. So I entered a buy position. And I was expecting to enter a buy position at $366. Do you know that the forex exchange I'm using, the platform I connected my data and I'm using, did not execute my trade until something got to $370 something. You know that? Yeah. So the odds are against you. The odds are against you if you want to trade forex here. The problem is not the market, but the problem is that your internet connection is very weak. So before your execution order gets to the guy in London, the center is London, the biggest forex center is London. So before they get a signal in London or wherever their server is hosted, the guys who are in London, they would have competed, and their orders would have been picked and executed ahead of yours. So by then, the profit would have been wiped out. That profit opportunity you saw and you wanted to execute a trade to seize and make that profit, it would be wiped off. It would have been occupied by other guys who are operating from the London center, from the New York center, from Hong Kong. Do you understand? Where they have very strong internet connectivity, while you are just lagging behind and your order is coming at a snail speed. Okay, so that's the challenge in forex trading here. And that's one risk. So network infrastructure made it very, very unprofitable to some extent if you want to trade here. And then another thing is that if you want to use other people, you want to use money manager, you have to be very extremely careful, because I have clients who have lost over 19 million naira. I'm talking to you in forex. Okay, he was a student, my student on in this program. Okay, so he lost about 19 million. Okay, so it is very important that you should not hand over your money, your hard-earned money, to any money manager, especially if it is not a regulated, regulated, Securities and Exchange Commission regulated, or it is not a Central Bank of Nigeria regulated money manager. Please do not hand over your hard-earned money to anybody to trade for you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Professor, this is Arinze. I had to log in on device.
Okay, yeah, Emmanuel.
Some environmental factors. Emmanuel, please go ahead. Then after that, we could go back to the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think the faculty already come to that. But what I wanted to say is this. Around November last year, I was actually in Doha in Qatar with some owner of the project there. And this is exactly topic I was fortunate to be among them. People that is, especially in the Africa, Nigeria, we go back home. It's like you take your money and you go and play dice when it comes to forex. I mean, somebody there in the London at the HSBC or JP Morgan or Stanley Morgan in the UK with uninterrupted internet are there putting millions on the forex, maybe the yuan against dollar, dollar against euro, and they will never trade based on minutes. They prefer to have 0.1% in an hour and put over 500 million on it. But our people in Nigeria looking for 40%. And then that is within 1 minute or 30 seconds put, as they call it, or 30% call, as they say. So Mr. Japheth have nailed it very well. You take your money to go and gamble, either with card or with dice. It is better than forex, as far as you are in Africa or in Nigeria. And as far as you are trading with a few hundred of dollars or few thousands of dollars, the big guys are there that is trading in millions. And they are not looking for 10%, they are not looking for 20%, they are just looking for 0.1% or even 1% in a matter of 1 hour. So, forex, to me, I think it is not an investment. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, your opinion. Okay, guys, any other question?
Yeah. So Arinze, are you still there? We have
yes,
some.
Sir.
Yeah, read. It's like you're having some tech problems yourself also.
Yes,
there is
that's
a
true.
question from Chioma. I think Chioma has something on the chat. Yeah,
I think I have to log in from a different device.
Okay, sorry. Okay, let me read it for our faculty. Please, it's coming from one of our members here. It's on the chat. Say, please, could we increasing local business transaction and local fight against inflation? Because so trying to. So, Chema, can you unmute yourself and ask this question? Is it possible? Hello, Chema, are you there? I think
Yes, I
Okay,
know.
please unmute yourself because I think you just summarized it here. So when you ask it, it will be clearer. Go ahead, please.
Okay, yeah. What I was okay, well done, sir. Thank you so much for this. What I was trying to confirm. Yes, thank you, sir. I was trying to confirm that because we're talking about inflation and the finance system constantly on the rise. So I just want to confirm that if we turn inwards to like encourage local transactions in our currency in itself, like engaging in business transactions more in our currency than trying to do the exchange rate, can that be a way to, can we confirm that that's a way to fight against inflation? Because we have different setups in my company, KKO Solution Center, and in the financial sector where we ensure that it's in Naira and we do our transactions in Naira, we don't do in dollar. And the returns that we give to our partners and we give to our investors are pretty high than what we give, what, if you compare to other places. For example, our group fund solution, the lowest return on investment total in 12 months is 100%, and it hasn't happened because we haven't, in quote, like involved in, we don't put it on the forex trade or people that say want to do it in dollars. We just do strictly naira, and the returns and feedback have been very positive. It has been on for 3 years. So that's what I've observed. But I just wanted to ask you, and if it's certain or something that Nigeria is considering to try out, because the rave has always been this forex, and I haven't been comfortable with it, but I didn't know how to speak to tell others. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that in that aspect. I don't know if I've made myself clear or that's the question.
Yes, hello, Chima. I did. It was really quite rough, the network, so I couldn't really get them. Did somebody get that question? Who can just summarize it so that I can pick it up? I can address it. Prof, did you get that question?
Yeah, I think most likely what Choma is asking here, if we increase our local business transaction in our local currency, would that make it easier for us to fight inflation in the country? I think if I understand.
Yes, that's the question. Yes.
Yeah.
Focusing inward than like importing more than looking at exports. So local focus on our own funds and our business transactions. Would that be a good way to fight inflation that is happening in the country?
So faculty, basically, in another way, she's saying if our balance of payment or balance of trade, if it becomes positive or favorable to Nigeria, because we are generating more output internally, driving more productivity internally without necessarily importing things, which will push a lot of pressure on our forests or foreign reserve. Is that going to help us to improve our inflation? Reduce inflation rate in the country? Are you there?
Yes, and I think it's a good question. Very good question. Yeah, I'm there. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
You can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead. Just go ahead. We can hear you. Since we're not all they are muted. Just go ahead.
It's an interesting question. Okay, it's an interesting question that has the macroeconomic dynamics in it. Yeah, Nigeria balance of trade has been bad, has been negative for over the years, okay? So definitely, if Nigeria will work hard to step up production, and then the production must be export driven, okay? Produce so that they can export, okay? And then reduce import. That is actually going to rub off positively, is going to affect our currency, it's going to affect our even inflation, it's going to affect many macroeconomic variables, okay? So that is, it is actually a great economic policy direction that the government needs to consider if they really want to help Nigeria economy and push the economy out of the current economic quagmire, they have to consider the long-term economic. It is not a kind of an operational plan, or it is not a short-term plan. It's going to be in the long run. Okay, in macroeconomics, it's going to be long run. It's a long run project. So, because then we first have to identify the sectors of the economy, identify the products where they have competitive advantage, and then and then mobilize resources, and then start deploying those resources to actually get the production running, kick-started, and can keep it running, to churn out this produce and begin the exportation of this produce. Okay, so it's a strategic thing that 5 years may not even be enough. Okay, but the problem here is that the government in Nigeria is not run by strategy. Government in Nigeria is run by impulse. The people who make government decisions in government are very emotional people. They make decisions by impulse, the way their impulse, the way their mind, by emotions. That's the best way to put it. They don't.
Okay. Okay, it's like we lost a faculty again. I think we already actually 10 minutes past the hour.
Look at long term.
Okay, good.
So it's a big problem. Okay, I believe I've answered that question.
Yes, you've answered it. And
yes, you have faculty.
Okay, so Arinze, maybe we just ask the faculty to round up with the starting words, and I will also apologize to our community here. This network problem is just something that no one has any answer
Terrible
to
today.
it. Yeah, so we'll keep looking. If you know of any better solution than Zoom that can manage this paralysis, but I think this is really network. Just let us know, please. It's we just want to make sure it doesn't. So Arinze, over to you. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, faculty.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, Arinze,
so much value to us.
Hello, Arinze.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my conclusion. Let me.
No.
Now, my concluding word. You. All right. My concluding words to you guys.
Wow, it's really tough today, I must confess.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
No, I say it's very tough. I think we could just
let the inflation rate to.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead, sir. Yeah. So just.
Okay. No problem, Mr. Jeff. I think the network.
Can you hear me?
That's.
Contact me wherever you need my assistance.
Okay, no problem. And that's it. Thank you so much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. And so this, before we leave, please, what is the best network we can recommend to our faculty if they are coming to Tekedia Live?
Faculty.
We saw the same problem. Does anyone know the one that works best, so that we just try to deal with this problem of network connectivity? Any suggestion? Okay, go ahead, John. Suggest something if you have something to say, please.
Yeah, Prof. It's not basically a suggestion. The challenge is that different networks in different locations can be good or bad. There's network A, and it happens that where the faculty is in the area in which the faculty is, network A is not doing fine.
Okay.
Just network B, the key thing we advise the faculty to have possibly two networks. But if one is not working well, we should try. This is the challenge we are facing, and all of us are in telecom.
All right, thank you so much, and thank you, gentlemen, ladies. Please go and have a profitable day. Thank you for making time with us. Have a very great and wonderful day. Thank you so much. See you next week on Monday. Oh, sorry, see you on Saturday, actually. Sorry, see you on Saturday, tomorrow. Thank you so much. Yes. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.